What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. We've got a great video for you guys today. We're going to go over 20 tips for new Instacart drivers. So if you're just getting started on delivering for Instacart, this video is definitely for you. Before we jump into today's video, we wanted to give a quick shout out to Work Solo. Work Solo is probably one of the best platforms out there that partners with gig economy workers. They get you guaranteed earnings based on community-driven data in your area. So if you've ever gone out for a day and you're not sure if you'll make all the money you need, this is where Work Solo is phenomenal because they'll show you the guarantee that you should be able to hit based on what you're working. And if you don't, they will cover the difference. On top of that, they do expense tracking and a lot of other cool features. Our listeners can get $10 just for signing up using the link in the description below and linking their new Instacart account to it. So check that out, guys. Link in the description below. Let's dive in. So I think my number one tip for brand new Instacart drivers is don't be afraid to ask for help when you're in the store. When I first started, I was horrible at finding the appropriate items. It took me so long to get accustomed to everything and the layout of each store. And I think I took too long on a lot of orders because I was just trying to figure out on my own rather than going and asking employees for help. So don't be afraid to do that. Go ask for help when you need it. It's going to make your first few orders go quicker, and I promise you'll catch on really quick once you understand the layout of each place. My next biggest tip is one of the bigger things you'll run into is an item being out and you need to make a substitution. I know you can text them on the app, but my preference is to always shoot them a call. I think they prefer this. It's also, I think, helpful if you have a good phone voice and they can hear that you're a friendly person. Hey, I'm so sorry they don't have that Heinz ketchup you want. Is there a specific brand you want instead? And you don't want to call about every single little thing, but I think if it's something that really could be controversial or debatable, you definitely just want to shoot them a call and play it safe. My next tip would be avoid deliveries that are really far away. These rarely are worth your time if you have to drive 45 minutes to go deliver. The problem is it's going to take you so long to get back to an area where you can now get another delivery order. So most often than not, I don't accept the ones that have a super far drop-off location. My next tip is just knowing what times to work. In general, Instacart is just extremely busy on the weekend. I've never really thought weekdays are worth it. However, you can do decent on weekday mornings to mid-afternoon, but for the most case, I would stick to weekends if you want to make some serious money. My next tip is pack the order neatly and carefully. One thing that I think is a bad look is just when everything's jammed in there and unorganized. Try to have a little system for how you pack your bags and keeping everything in a relatively similar order. What I mean by that is mostly frozen foods together, mostly veggies together. In general, hopefully the cashier did this, but as you start learning, that very often is not the case. My next tip is to follow the list as closely as you can when you are finding the items in the store. Also, checking off the items as you go. I so often would lose track because I wasn't checking them off. And if the grocery cart gets full, it's a little bit harder to find what you have and haven't gotten than you think. Next is to decline any order that doesn't fit your schedule. So if you have a schedule and you know you want to get X amount of orders in, don't be afraid to decline orders that you think might screw up your flow. I really like having just an organized system with Instacart for how many orders I want to deliver each day and how I want to structure them, and I don't like anything screwing that up because it usually ends up in me not making as much money. My next tip is if you see that you're not getting any deliveries, try restarting the app. Usually I can lose service at some point in a drive. Even if I reconnect to LTE, a lot of times I won't be picking up orders. For whatever reason, if I just close out the app and restart it, I usually get pinged pretty quickly after that. My next tip is to buy a magnetic phone mount for when you are driving. I think the magnetic phone mounts are the best because they allow you to just easily take your phone on and off, and they don't really screw up anything cosmetically in your car either. My next tip, and kind of a funny one, is buy a fanny pack. Now I'm going to give a few options for the fanny pack and tips further in the list, But one of the most annoying things for me is carrying around my phone in the store. So I like to have something where I'm not just, wrenching it in and out of my pocket each time I find an item. So having a fanny pack is actually pretty helpful because it makes your phone really accessible and easy to slip in and out. Our next tip is getting backseat storage organizers. This is a game changer as far as doing your orders, especially when you start getting multiple orders. Having those backseat storage organizers is going to literally help you so much so that you're not mixing and matching orders. You can find pretty cheap ones on Amazon as well. Another good option, this is kind of going back to the fanny pack, is a phone holster. Now there's a few ways you can do this. There's actually little mounts that will mount to a grocery cart so you can have the phone up and literally not have to use your hand to hold the phone at all. Or you can actually have it on your lanyard. There's like a phone case that has a little mount on it or a little hook on it so that it hooks to your lanyard, and then it's just hanging. I didn't like that as much because I didn't like the weight on my neck, but I know a lot of people really prefer that method. My next tip is utilizing some type of receipt reward app. A lot of these apps will do cashback rewards or even Amazon gift cards just for scanning the receipts on their app and uploading them. So that's something that I think everyone should take advantage of, is using some type of receipt reward app, because it's just throwing money out the window if you don't. Now another option, if you don't go the phone case route with the holder, is you can get a rechargeable case. Your battery drains quick with Instacart, so having a case that's charging your app is a big game changer as well. Next thing, proper walking shoes. I can't emphasize this enough. Personally, I recommend New Balance or Asics. Those were always the best on my feet when I did Instacart full-time. The next tip I would say is liners or seat covers. A lot of these things can spill or just get a lot of liquid built up from frozen items. Best to line your seats to make sure you don't damage your car seats. Also, next on our list is to have appropriate weather gear. There will be days you do this where it rains. Have a rain jacket. Maybe even something to throw over the bag so all the food boxes and everything aren't soaked. Our next tip is to buy a foldable wagon. This is also a game changer. I love using this as opposed to carts a lot of times, especially for a smaller order. It helps even with just taking the stuff out and loading it into your car. So that's another great option and easy write-off there as well. Consult your tax accountant, obviously. And lastly, and probably most importantly, buy insulated bags. Insulated bags are a must for this, for separating your items. I think it's just well worth it as compared to the bags you get. But ultimately, if you really had to make it work with the standard ones, you should be fine. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out Work Solo, linked in the description below. Get your free $10 just for signing up using our link and get your guaranteed pay today. Anyways, stay safe out there, guys, and stay tuned for more updates.